Hello, in this video I would like to take you through setting up some of the most commonly used features on the Discovery Sport and also show you a few features that are a little less obvious but no less useful for that. The first thing I would recommend is to download the Land Rover iGuide app. Now, this contains not only a full searchable copy of the handbook but also a reference guide for warning lights on the dashboard, a frequently asked questions section and a visual tour around the inside and outside of the car with information on the controls, buttons and features. It's a great source of immediate information when a question pops into your head or you just see a button and think, well, what does that do? Another download is the Land Rover Remote app. Your car comes with a SIM pre-installed by the retailer who should have spoken to you about the setup of your account that enables many of the intelligent features on the car, and we'll come on to some of those later. For now, let's start with the smart key. Now, lock and unlock seem pretty obvious with a reassuring click responding to each one. Pressing the lock button just once will lock the car. Pressing twice will double lock. Now, this means the car can't be unlocked from the inside, so even if someone smashes a window, they still won't be able to open the doors. This simple step is crucial to keeping your vehicle secure. Always double lock, either from the key fob or via tapping the door handle twice for vehicles with keyless entry. You'll hear a beep to confirm this is done successfully. Next, there's a button to unlock just the boot. If you have a powered tailgate, this will open or close the tailgate automatically, so do ensure there is space for it to safely operate. There are sensors that will stop it if obstructed, but you'll notice I use my arm rather than my head to demonstrate that. Powered tailgates can also be operated by the button above the number plate on the outside, a button by the driver's knee inside, and a button on the back of the tailgate itself. If you wish to adjust the height the tailgate opens to, if for example you have a garage with a low ceiling, reposition the tailgate to the desired height and hold the button on the tailgate until you hear a beep. This will store the height to the memory. The next time it opens, it will open to this height. If you have the hands-free gesture tailgate, so long as the smart key is in your pocket, sweeping your foot under the rear corner of the car will trigger the tailgate to open or close. Next, there's a handy button to trigger the lights. So if you're approaching the car in the dark or simply trying to find it in a dark car park, this will switch the lights on. By default, they'll stay on for around 30 seconds. This can be extended up to 4 minutes if you want, using the settings in the car. More on that later. Unlocking the car will also trigger the headlights, and they'll remain on for a short period after locking to provide you with light to see you to your door. The final button is a panic alarm. Press for 3 seconds or press 3 times in 3 seconds and the horn will sound and the hazard lights will flash. After 5 seconds, this can be cancelled by holding the button for 3 seconds. Holding the unlock button down will operate global opening, lowering all the windows to allow air into the car before you enter on a hot day. Now, similarly, if you get out and then realise you've left a window open, hold the lock button to activate global closing to raise all the windows and secure the car. These operations can be enabled or disabled using the settings within the car. If your car is fitted with keyless entry, you don't even need to remove the key from your bag or pocket. So long as it's within a foot or so of the car, as soon as you put your hand around the door handle, the doors will unlock. When you leave the car, just place your thumb on the end of the door handle to secure the vehicle. All our latest models have a Land Rover In-Control Secure Vehicle Tracker fitted, and your retailer will have performed the first steps in the setup process. You should have received an In-Control email inviting you to activate the tracker, and it's worth checking your junk folder if you haven't seen it. The activation process takes less than 2 minutes, and once complete and the product is activated, you can download the certificate from within the In-Control portal. If your insurer wishes to see proof of an activated tracker, simply go to the Your In-Control Services section to find it. To use the +2 seats in the boot, simply pull them out of the floor and then click the headrests into place. Access is via the rear doors. The release on the top of the second row seats will fold the seat and then roll it forward. Once you've clicked it back in place, a bar under the seat will roll the second roll forwards or backwards to share legroom out between the passengers. When you're not using the +2 seats, they can be folded down by pulling the cord once to drop the headrest and then once more to release the back of the seat to fold down into the floor of the boot. Getting into the car then, the first thing you need to do is find a comfortable position. Seat controls can be found on the outside of the seat. Steering wheel adjustment is either electric, using a joystick on the right-hand side of the steering column, or manual. Pull the lever on the underside of the steering column down, adjust the reach and rake to suit, and then push the lever back up to lock the steering wheel in place. Mirrors are adjusted using the controls mounted on the driver's door. Select which mirror to adjust using the buttons, and then use the joystick to adjust the angles. Incidentally, if you have power folding mirrors, pressing both buttons together will fold them in, useful if squeezing through a tight gap. Once everything is adjusted to your satisfaction, if you have memory settings, you can save these positions. Just press the M button, and then within 5 seconds press one of the numbered memory settings. You'll hear a chime to confirm that it's saved. You can switch between stored settings just by pressing these numbered buttons. Great if you share the car with another driver. Controls for the electric windows are located on the top of the driver's door. Locking the operation of windows from the rear seats will also engage the child locks on the rear doors. Most people will want to leave their windscreen wipers set to auto. Move the stalk to its lowest position and then come up one notch. Sensitivity can be adjusted using the rotating collar. Pull forward for screen wash. The outer collar operates the rear wiper, and the button on the end controls the rear screen wash. Similarly, the headlights are best set to auto by rotating the outer collar. Pulling the stalk towards you will flash the main beam, and when driving at night, pushing the stalk away from you will toggle the main beam on and off. If your car is fitted with auto high beam assist, the car will automatically dip the main beam in oncoming traffic. If you have matrix LED lights, the car will keep main beam on almost all the time, creating cones of shadow around other road users so they're not dazzled, but maintaining full beam illumination everywhere else. This mode operates above 30 miles an hour and requires the lighting control to be set to auto. There's an array of controls on the steering wheel. On the right-hand side are the controls for cruise control. Pressing set whilst travelling at your preferred speed, and the car will automatically maintain that speed until you touch the brakes or press cancel. Pressing the accelerator will cause the car to speed up, but when you release it, it'll return to the set speed. Pressing plus or minus will increase or reduce the set speed. If cruise has been cancelled, pressing resume will take you back to the last set speed. If your car has adaptive cruise control, a radar monitors the speed of the car in front of you. If they're travelling slower, the car will match their speed automatically, and the buttons on the left and right will increase and decrease the distance between you and the car in front. Whilst you need to be travelling over 20 miles an hour to activate cruise control, adaptive cruise will match the speed of the car in front all the way down to 0. If the traffic restarts within 3 seconds, your car will pull away with the traffic. Any longer than that and you'll need to give the car permission to go with just a gentle press on the accelerator. This function means that adaptive cruise control can be used in tiring stop-start traffic situations. The limb button switches the function between cruise control and speed limiter. Lane keep assist can be toggled on and off with the button marked with converging white lines. If the heated steering wheel is fitted, the control will be found here. The phone icon will answer an incoming call, end a current call, or start the process to dial a contact on a connected phone. The voice button primes the system to listen for voice commands. Just wait for the chime, and then tune radio to BBC Radio 2. Voice control can also now be initiated with a wake-up phrase. The default wake-up phrase is set to Hey Land Rover, but you can also set a name of your choice, for example, Hey Sophie. Names with at least 2 or 3 syllables work best. The system uses natural language understanding, so commands could be, Hey Land Rover, call David's mobile. Hey Land Rover, take me to Buckingham Palace, or Hey Land Rover, increase cabin temperature to 24. To make the most of the advanced connectivity features offered by Discovery Sport, you'll need an InControl account. If you don't already have one, you can create one at landroverincontrol.com/owner. To add the car to your account, it'll need to be parked close by in an area with good signal. When prompted, add the Discovery Sport to your account by pressing and holding the roadside assistance button located in the overhead console until the light flashes at a slower rate. This should take around 10 seconds. You have 60 minutes to complete this step. Then return to the website and follow instructions to complete registration. Download the Land Rover remote app to your phone and sign in with your InControl account details to access a raft of useful features. This includes control over remote locking and unlocking of the car. It tells you how much fuel is in the tank or how much electric charge you have. It also reports the last parked location of the car, so you can always find your way back to it, and it can export a full journey log in the form of an Excel spreadsheet. So if you're keeping track of business mileage, that's really easy. A feature I love is the remote activation of the climate system, cooling the interior in summer before you get in, or warming and de-icing the car in winter, whilst keeping the car fully secure. Starting the car is as simple as putting your foot on the brake pedal and pressing the start button. For manual cars, press the clutch. So long as the smart key is in the car somewhere, the engine will start. When you first switch the car on, the main 10-inch touchscreen will greet you, and at the bottom of the screen there's an option to set up your vehicle. We highly recommend you click on this, as the system will walk you through a few key steps to streamline the setup process. This will lead you to select your language of choice, and from here you'll be prompted to add a name for your personal profile and then input your in-control account details. Each authorized user of the vehicle can have their own profile linked to their own in-control account. When you've done this, you may receive a message saying there's no internet connection and giving you the option to enable connectivity. Select this and then switch on mobile data and agree to the terms and conditions. Once you've enabled mobile data, return to the sign-in screen by pressing the X at the bottom right of the screen. Tap the sign-in button, and when sign-in has completed, you'll be given the option to set a 4-digit passcode to secure your data, and then the option to remember this passcode to automatically sign you in whenever you start the vehicle. Pivi will then prompt you to pair a phone. On your phone, simply go to Settings and then Bluetooth, and search for a new device. Select Land Rover Discovery Sport, and then confirm pairing on both your phone screen and then the Pivi screen. There are options to enable both audio streaming and telephone communications. For display and reading of text messages, it may be necessary to select the Land Rover Discovery Sport Bluetooth device on your phone and then select Enable Notifications or Text Messages. You can then pair additional phones to the system or continue. There's always the function to add more phones later. Pivi allows 2 phones to be connected simultaneously, for example, work and personal phones. When either phone rings, you can answer the call via the vehicle's touchscreen or the steering wheel. For making calls, you can switch between focused phones directly from Pivi's home screen. And finally, Pivi will prompt you to select your favourite radio stations to add to your favourites list. Following a short animation showing a few tips of how to navigate Pivi, the main homepage will appear. The Setup Wizard will be offered on the greeting screen each time you start the vehicle. Multiple drivers and profiles can be added, and Pivi will remember each driver's preferences to deliver a personal experience. Pivi's new home screen has been designed to allow direct access to the features and information you use most. Depending on your preferences, this allows about 80 to 90% of the tasks you use to be carried out directly from a single screen in 2 taps or less. Pivi's new home screen offers direct access to telephone, media, and the most common features and information associated with each. If you have Pivi Pro, which is standard on S specification and up, you'll also have navigation shown on the left side. Pivi offers a consistent, logical interface. On the far left, there's the clock and connectivity details, and below this, shortcuts for the standard surround cameras and settings. On the right-hand side, you can switch between driver profiles, jump straight to navigation, phone or media from virtually anywhere in the system, or launch one of the additional apps available. Pressing the cog icon will take you into Settings, where you can find options for connectivity, languages, and many vehicle safety features. It's worth looking through these to understand the full range of customization available. Quick Settings allows you to choose a dark or a light display theme and adjust the screen brightness. The next tab is Context Sensitive, presenting options for the application you jumped here from. So if you press the Settings icon whilst in the Navigation app, it'll say Navigation. Coming from the home screen, it gives options for the home screen layout. Selecting All takes you into options for driver profiles, connectivity, which includes Bluetooth, mobile data and Wi-Fi connection, vehicle settings, which allows configuration of any specified driver assistance features like lane keeping and parking aids, security features, exterior light settings, which includes headlamp delay and setting the lights for driving abroad. Convenience, which controls the global opening and closing of the windows and behaviour of the windscreen wipers. Units allows customization of display units. And My Vehicle shows the next anticipated service date. Back to the home screen, selecting the Tiles view displays up to 9 tiles across the home screen. Now, these can be added to the home screen by swiping left and then selecting the Edit icon. Then tap or drag the desired tile from the bottom up to the top, reordering them to your preference. When you return to the home screen, you can swipe through all the tiles. Now, many tiles show live information, like the distribution of power to each of the wheels, the angle of incline or banking you've achieved, or even just the name of the radio station or song that you're listening to. PHEV models have a dedicated EV tile that shows both the electric range and the combined electric and petrol range. Let's look at the main three tiles. If no phone is connected, the phone tile will prompt you to pair a device. With a phone connected, the phone tile shows which of the connected phones is currently active for outgoing calls. Options below access recent calls or favourites data if your phone supports this, as well as the ability to switch between connected phones for outgoing calls. Lists of recent contacts can be scrolled and then selected with one tap to place a call to that number, all without having to leave the home screen. Connecting a phone with a USB cable enables Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Both are standard on Discovery Sport, although some Android phones may require the free Android Auto app to be installed. You may also need to switch the service on your device by going to Settings, All, Connectivity, and then select either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. This allows the control of compatible phone apps via the main screen. Most music playing and podcast apps are supported, as well as streaming services like BBC Sounds and Scala Radio. Connecting your phone in this way also allows voice access to your phone assistant using a long press on the steering wheel. Send text message to Dad.
What do you want to say?
I'll be there in around 20 minutes. The next tile to look at is Media. The home screen shows what's playing, along with buttons for source and favourite radio stations. Favourites can contain DAB, FM and AM based stations. There's also an icon to instantly mute or pause playback. You can even access your playlist or upcoming music list if supported by your phone's music player. Clicking on the media icon launches the media play screen, providing access to a full station list. Tapping stars will add them into your favourites. The phone I've now added will also show as a possible source for music. And Browse will allow access to the full range of songs, artists and albums available on the phone. And again, many of these selections can be made using the voice control system. For those with Pivi, the last of these main tiles will display eco data, designed to help you maximise fuel economy by providing vehicle data and driving tips. For Pivi Pro, this will be replaced by navigation. With no destination set, the home screen provides shortcuts to set home as your destination, search, and direct access to your recent destinations. Just click on a destination from the list and the route will be calculated and guidance start in around a second. Pressing search takes you to the full screen navigation view where you can click on a search category. Selecting one of these will display nearby options and give access to ratings and reviews if available. Parking options will even show the hourly rate for the car park. If you're driving a PHEV model, charging stations can be manually searched from the navigation page by pressing the EV button. Whichever way a destination is chosen, just clicking on Go will calculate the route according to your preferences in navigation settings. If you prefer, you can click on Routes to choose between the fastest, shortest and most economical route options. Instead of searching by category, you can input a search term wherever you see the search box in navigation. This can be a place name, a place type like Italian restaurants, or an address or postcode. Destinations can also be easily set by voice. Hey Land Rover, take me to 33 Baker Street, London. As well as appearing on the main 10-inch touchscreen, navigation instructions will also be shown on the display in front of the driver. With the destination set, the home screen's navigation tile options change to cancel guidance, mute or unmute voice turn-by-turn instructions, and access to en route information. Tapping on this displays a list of traffic incidents and the associated delay, or rest stops, as well as charging stations or fuel stations available along the current route. Simply click on a charge station from the list to have it added to your route as a waypoint. Pivi Pro learns your regular journeys. On startup, the navigation tile will display up to 3 predicted destinations, each with an estimated time of arrival, taking into account your usual driving style and current traffic conditions. If you sometimes drive to the same destination using different routes, it will also identify which route is the fastest based on current traffic conditions. Tapping on the destination shown in the navigation home screen tile confirms this as the intended destination. For frequently used routes, the system displays the route but doesn't provide turn-by-turn voice instructions. If you enable the Smart Voice Guidance feature in navigation settings, the system will announce any issues on your commute and provide alternative route guidance. If this results in driving on unfamiliar roads, the system will automatically enable voice guidance. On returning to familiar roads, the system will automatically mute voice guidance so you can fully enjoy the Discovery Sports sound system. An additional navigation setting labelled Auto Start Commutes even allows the automatic initiation of your most regular journeys. This means you can start your morning commute and still get traffic updates without having to press any buttons except the one you use to start the car. Discovery Sport is equipped with a 4G data connection, providing over-the-air performance updates of the infotainment and other vehicle systems, and allows the addition of new features over time. When an update is available, it will alert the driver via the menu touchscreen and ask for permission to update when you complete your journey. Some updates may require the vehicle to be switched off and locked whilst the update is carried out. For convenience, these updates can be scheduled for a suitable time within a 2-week period. For Pivi Pro, the data connection also enables a variety of connected navigation features and services, such as real-time traffic information, live EV charging station availability, parking availability, safety camera locations, live search, as well as monthly navigation map updates. It also enables the online pack, which allows synchronization and streaming from various online accounts, including Spotify, Deezer and TuneIn for entertainment and Google or Microsoft calendars. You can also view weather at your destination, even pay for parking from the vehicle's touchscreen using Ringo. To set this up, go to the app launcher, select Connect Accounts, and then select the type of account you wish to connect. You'll then be given the option of an emailed link or a QR code. Simply scan this with a phone that already has these accounts added, and Pivi will do the rest. Once added, Spotify, Deezer and TuneIn will show up as additional media sources alongside your phone and radio bands. The Agenda app allows you to set location of an appointment in your calendar as the destination with one tap, or call the meeting organizer with one tap if you're running late. There's no need for additional mobile data contracts or SIM cards. If there's a valid active subscription, mobile data is included via a built-in SIM card. The connected navigation subscription is included for 3 years. InControl Remote, which allows remote access to your vehicle via the remote app, includes a 3-year subscription, whilst the online pack is included for an initial 1 year. On renewal of a subscription, the associated data plan required is also renewed. Back to the home screen. The camera icon reveals the 3D camera views that can simulate an overhead view as well as a full 360-degree surround view from outside the vehicle. Each of the camera icons on the overhead view presents a different view, allowing you to switch between different virtual camera positions for a better view. Front and rear cameras can be selected in ultra-wide view, so when pulling out of a blind junction or reversing out of a tight parking space, you have enhanced vision left and right. The home screen can also be customized to include additional tiles such as 4x4 driving information and driving efficiency analysis. PHEV models have a My EV feature. A button in the area below the touchscreen cycles through the 3 different drive modes. Hybrid, which allows the car to automatically switch between petrol and electric power. Save, which forces the car to conserve battery power and use petrol only, useful if you want to reserve charge for driving through an urban area later in your journey. And EV mode, which switches the car purely for use into electric power, although the engine will restart if the charge is too low or greater acceleration or speed is required. It will also revert to petrol power if the mud ruts, sand mode or wade sensing is activated, or if the automatic transmission is set in sport mode. In save mode, the car is able to recover up to 10% of the battery power from kinetic energy recovery when slowing down. The panel below the touchscreen is dominated by 2 large dials, which set the temperature for climate control. Pressing the dial in will toggle function to control the heated seats. The terrain response modifier button will enable the right-hand dial to select different off-road modes. The ventilation modifier will change the left dial to control fan speed. Front and rear heated windscreens and air recirculation are controlled with the centre panel. And if your phone is Qi compatible, the bottom stowage area can house the optional wireless device charging feature if specified. Perfect for doing away with those pesky cables. Once the engine is on, the 15-watt charging pad can not only charge your phone, but also improve your phone's signal through the latest cellular boosting technology. Discovery Sport features a pistol grip gear selector. Press the brake, squeeze the trigger and pull towards you to engage drive, push away to engage reverse. Shifting towards you and nudging to the left will enable sport mode, and this will alter the operation of the automatic gearbox, holding onto gears longer to give punchier performance. You can manually shift up and down the auto gearbox by nudging the pistol shift up and down while in sport mode, or by using the paddles either side of the steering wheel if fitted. To return the car to automatic operation, hold the right paddle towards you for a couple of seconds. When you come to a stop, press the button on top to put it back in park. The electronic park brake will disengage automatically when you drive away and re-engage when you switch the engine off. A manual override control is located by the driver's knee. When driving, be aware that a start-stop system is standard, so the engine will cut out when you come to a stop, instantly restarting in the time it takes for your foot to move from the brake to the accelerator when you pull away. This can be overridden with the control on the lower panel, but it delivers a surprisingly high fuel saving and helps reduce air pollution in towns and cities. All cars are fitted with exhaust filters. These need to refresh occasionally, and you may notice more visible exhaust emissions while this is happening. For a diesel, it tends to happen when the car is being driven at higher speeds and the exhaust gets hot. For a petrol, it happens more frequently when you lift off the throttle and more oxygen passes through the system. Occasionally, the car may display a message saying drive to clear. This is most common on diesels which have been used predominantly for short, low-speed journeys, in which case they need to blast down a dual carriageway. For petrols, it happens when they've been under load, like towing. Find occasions to lift off the throttle and slow using engine braking to clear the filter. Automatic braking systems for city driving are standard and detect other traffic, pedestrians and cyclists, preventing collision or mitigating damage. Cars fitted with adaptive cruise control have a high-speed emergency braking system. The lane keep system will provide a torque steer back into the lane if the car thinks you're drifting beyond the lane markers, so it's important to indicate when changing lane. If blind spot assist is fitted, the door mirrors incorporate a blind spot warning system, lighting up when a vehicle is travelling alongside and flashing rapidly to warn if a car is closing to overtake. If you start to move into the path of an adjacent vehicle, the car will deliver a torque steer in an attempt to avoid a collision. These driver aids were designed to intervene when there is no input from the driver, which is surprisingly hard to simulate, so please don't try to test these systems. Any input from the driver will override them, and they do not reduce the driver's responsibility to drive safely and attentively. They can be deactivated, but as all of them have been shown to save lives both inside and outside the vehicle, they're switched on by default, and we recommend leaving them that way. For additional safety, in the event of an accident where the airbags are deployed or the fuel safety cutoff is activated, the car will automatically contact emergency services, sending GPS location data. Emergency services can be contacted at any time by pressing the right-hand button above the rear-view mirror. The left-hand button summons breakdown assistance. Both these buttons have covers to avoid accidental operation. When refueling, simply press the filler flap. So long as the car is unlocked, it will open. A smart mechanism will prevent filling with the wrong fuel, but as an additional reminder, diesel cars will have an additional spout for topping up with diesel exhaust fluid. Warnings will flash up on the information display to let you know when you're running out. You'll get about 1,000 miles notice. And if it runs out, as a legal requirement, the engine will not start. When fueling PHEVs models, switch off the engine and press the button marked with a petrol pump icon near the driver's knee. This will equalise the pressure in the fuel tank and unlock the filler flap. PHEV models also have a separate cover on the other side of the car to the fuel filler, which opens to reveal a Type 2 charging socket. For AC charging, simply plug the Type 2 plug into the socket. If charging at home, plug the cable into the power and then plug into the car. The LED indicator next to the socket will turn white to give some illumination whilst plugging in, and then start flashing as it makes the connection. When charging starts, the LED will flash green, changing to solid green when charging is complete. A red light indicates a problem charging. When you lock the car, the cable will lock in place, and it's not possible to engage drive whilst the cable is connected. For fast DC charging, the rubber cover beneath the charge socket needs to be removed to reveal the two large diameter ports that can accept high voltage DC input from CCS chargers. Public charging stations will have individual instructions for payment and use, and always have the DC charging cable attached to them. Charging status, regardless of the method, can be monitored on the remote app. And remember, the engine will not start with the power cable connected, so there's no need to worry about driving away while still tethered. The cable will also lock in place. To unplug it, simply unlock the car. If charging with DC power, it may be necessary to fully unlock the car and then press unlock on the smart key once more to disengage the cable lock. The electric range you experience is dependent on many factors, including driving style and speed and outside temperature. Additionally, the energy impact tile will show how much power is being used by climate systems and heated seats. For the best efficiency, it's possible to pre-warm the batteries to their most efficient temperature. The EV tile gives options to set a one-off or recurring departure time, and so long as the car is plugged in, will ensure the car is preconditioned, ready for you at that time. This video has really only touched on the essentials. Please make use of the iGuide app or videos on our YouTube channel to find out more, or contact your retailer with any questions. Thank you for your time and enjoy your time with the Discovery Sport.